Okay, here we go. We're going to talk about the April 2025 astrology, and I'll do a reading to go with it. So let me go on ahead and pull up the calendar. Okay, so I'm going to largely just focus, whenever I do the monthly astrology, I look at the overarching what do you call them, transits. I don't look at the small little day-to-day weekly ones. But the number one thing I do want to say is we're starting out this month at a very historic time. Okay. And it's historic in the sense that we are we have Neptune, excuse me, yes, Neptune has moved into Aries. I know I hate the ads. Neptune has moved into Aries. Whew, we're here. Neptune and Aries. Wow. Amazing. It's 0 degrees. So every time a planet gets back to 0 degrees of Aries, it is truly a new beginning. And this planet we have witnessed it coming to 0 degrees of Aries, where a long time ago, people would never imagine that they were going to see Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries again. So, we're seeing the beginning of the Neptune cycle. Like for me, Neptune is in Sagittarius. Neptune is in Sagittarius. For some of y'all, maybe the the millennials, Neptune is in Capricorn. My kids, I think, are Neptune and Aquarius. So Gen X, a lot of Gen X is Neptune and Aquarius. And then, maybe Gen X, Gen Alpha, they have Neptune and Pisces. Okay. And so, like, nobody alive has ever seen Neptune. We were on the back end. All of us, me and all of you who are younger than me, we've been on the back end of this thing. All right. Some of the Gen Xers have Neptune in like at 29 late degrees of Scorpio, because my husband has it there. But none of us have ever seen this. We're at the beginning of a Neptune cycle. It is historic. It is literally historic. And this happened on March 30th. So we're starting the year, April out with adjusting to Neptune, which is watery, and it's the ocean. It's very spiritual. It's like magic and miracles and creativity. It's the subconscious mind. It's being connected to the divine. Other things is it's cloudiness, it's fogginess, it's the inability to see. It's like you have to have a lot of faith. Somebody mentioned faith today. You have to have a lot of faith. It's scammy. It could be it has to do with lies because it's illusions. So illusions and lies, however you want to look at it. And now this planet is in this very active sign, Aries. It wants to take action. It's all about fighting, and it's new beginnings. It's spring. So it's like the dawning of a new age to a certain degree, the dawning of a new beginning that we have never seen before. And this, even though I do believe there's very little bit of new things on the earth, that part of, I can't remember where it came out of the Bible, but that part I actually do believe. There's nothing new under the sun, maybe different variations. It happens at a different time, very little new. But in a way, there is a little bit of something new is unfolding for us. There is the dawning of a new age. And April is the beginning of that. So I want y'all to really open yourself up for what are the new beginnings that you can experience in your life? What are the new miracles that you can open yourself up to? And I want y'all to see it as like there's stages of this. All right. So it's like you're at the beginning stage. You're going to have several opportunities because Neptune is going to leave that 0 degree. I think it maybe gets to 1 or 2 degrees of Aries, and then it's going to go back over that 0 degrees into Pisces. And then next year it comes back into Aries again. So that 0 degree button, it's going to get pushed multiple times. And Saturn is making its way to that 0 degree button. The sun has just been there. Venus and Mercury push that button, push it with their retrogrades. We even recently had the North Node was there because the North Node had been in Aries. So there's like just that 0 degrees of Aries. The button just keeps getting pushed. And that's one of the reasons I want y'all to understand. Let me tell you, Neptune is the planet of dreaming. You cannot give up on your dreams. You have to continue to believe. What is Aries? Fight for your dreams, goddesses. You have to believe in them. You have to have the courage and the bravery to go for the dreams that you have for your life. Neptune is ideals. What are the ideals that you stand for? What kind of world do you want to live in? And Aries is all about you. So I want you to think about, um, you know, this is your world. You are in charge of you and the things that you get, the choices you get to make, the decisions you get to make every day for yourself, about you and the world that you live in. You've got to fight for it. You've got to have the courage to live it. You've got to believe in these ideals. Okay. So even if you're not wanting to do much with the collective, which in my mind is kind of hard to not be focused on the collective at this point because there's so much collective energy happening, especially with uh Pluto being in Aquarius. What you can understand is focus on you and what you can do, the difference you can make. Why are you born? Neptune is all about understanding like this higher purpose. What is your divine reason for being here? And so it's like get in touch with that. Talk to spirit, talk to the great mother, ancestors, whatever higher power you connect with. And it's all about let me do what I can do, and that in fact will help with the collective. Okay, but it's the ideals, you got to fight for that. Okay, so there's a lot going on right now. We also had an eclipse that happened at 9 degrees of Aries. When I tell y'all, this is a time that it is an opportunity, and I'm going to be honest with y'all, I have really struggled with what is happening in the world. I've had my own personal things happening in my life, and it has been, I've been on the struggle bus. I really have been. Um, but the one thing that I know is that nobody actually really knows. This is my belief. Let me put it this way. The one thing I feel certain about is nobody actually really knows what's going to happen because it is at such a time that it is there's just so much about new beginnings happening. Okay, so I want y'all to understand, April, spend this month thinking about where am I headed, what am I going to do. We got to get unstuck from being in the past. We need a breakthrough. We need a breakthrough in us. And so this starting the month out with this eclipse energy, it's helping you to see this is where you're going to have to take some action in your life and get that freaking breakthrough. All right. I'll just take a time to plug my Soul Alchemy membership. I created a video to talk about that inside of the Soul Alchemy membership. Something I need to do is to add this. It's all about being bold. So I'll be adding that this week. Sometimes people think I give them too much content. And so I'm trying to not do that. So yeah, anywho, it's a time for being bold. And that's something that I'm focused on inside of the membership. So I invite you to join the membership. There's details in the description box. So It's time to be bold, and April is going to give you an understanding of what it is that you need to be bold about in your life. What bold action do you need to take to really get this reset and this new beginning solidified? I believe we cannot just completely and totally map out every little detail of our lives because there's so much in our destiny is so buried deeply, it's buried so deeply in us. We don't see the fullness of it. And sometimes we might be, kind of not living up to our full potential. And things will happen that will be pushing you to get on your path. But let me tell you something. I would rather set new moon intentions every time and give the universe something to shoot for than to just kind of feel like I'm playing, a game of chance with it and not giving it something. So set the intentions knowing that there's a lot of unexpected things that will lie ahead of us, but everything is working in your favor. So you have to remember this is how we are starting the month out, even though these two events happened right at the very end of March. So we're gonna have, let's see here, Mercury goes direct on the 7th. Woohoo! This Mercury retrograde, I don't know. Maybe this has been a little bit of a wild Mercury retrograde because I got hacked. Venus and Mercury retrograde. Somebody put some fraudulent charge on my credit card to Disneyland, I think it was, or some theme park, $699. I'm like, who got my card? Who did this? What is this? Yesterday, well, the night before, we started seeing all this water on the first floor of the house. I'm like, what is going on? So we had to have a plumber come by and fix the plumbing. Mercury and Venus retrograde in Pisces. So yeah, Mercury is no telling. I would love to see in the comments, what have you noticed with this Mercury retrograde? Um, you definitely could see stuff with water, but it could be some accidents happening too, like maybe even with people's cars, but like bumping yourself, like actual, accidents that affect your body because Aries is the body. So yeah, Mercury will be going direct. And then we have to remember, once Mercury goes direct for the rest of the month, we're still dealing with Mercury retrograde shadow period, which is all about integration. Okay. So you're going to be integrating between two houses, going to be integrating between from Mercury being in Pisces, subconscious mind, more of the inner world, and then Mercury, you're integrating Mercury in Aries, which has to do with the body, taking action, some type of new beginning. Again, I watch replays all the time. I don't believe in watching a video one time. So I invite you to join my membership because you can go back and watch the video, the class that I created talking about Mercury retrograde. And that way you can really take advantage of this time period. Okay. Um, I thought Venus went visible on the 13th. I've been seeing that Venus is visible in the sky already. I don't really know how to determine that other than I guess I'll have to start looking at astronomers to see when she became visible. So if she's already visible, that is great because she goes direct on the 12th. I just kind of guessed at it like, okay, well, she's getting further and further away from the sun. Maybe she's visible. Yeah, because that's me. I typed that in there. So Venus goes direct on the 12th, on the same day as that full moon in Libra. So the full moon in Libra, I can assure you, is going to be highlighting some area of your life that you've been asked to release and let go of something. Okay. Because we've had the south node of the moon in Libra. So that means the eclipses had been happening in Libra until recently. So, and that was asking you to release and purge. It's almost like our Libra house, it's a clean slate has been wiped. And I want y'all to, at that moon, to look at What has been wiped clean? What is the universe is showing you where it's like a huge reset? Yeah, in general, we can say this has to do with relationships, um, balance and harmony, contracts, agreements. So those are like some of the general terms that we would use for Libra. And some of it is like where is it happening? For me, it's happening in the 12th house because I'm a Scorpio rising. So you just want to know what house is that Libra house for you, and you will know where this happened. So maybe you already know astrology. If you're not really into astrology, and I know I'm talking about my membership a lot, but if I don't do it, then nobody's going to know that it's there to join. And it's true. I created a class specifically about that eclipse. So you can go back and listen to see what is this all about, and then you're able to kind of understand, what is it that what area of my life has been wiped clean in this regard. I do find it interesting that the planet that rules Libra is Venus direct. Venus is going direct. Venus rules Libra. She's going direct on the 12th and on the same day. And so there definitely is this energy about revisiting something, because that south node is not like going in a new direction. That full moon in Libra is not highlighting something where you've been going in a new direction. It would be highlighting something that it's like, to me, the south node is sort of like spring cleaning, and you need a reset. There's a level of detachment that you need. Okay. And Venus moving now direct, that means that she is revisiting topics that she has been focused on. So other things that you could be really hyper focused on the 11th, 12th, and 13th would be money topics. It's like this double energy around relationships. So who has been dealing with relationship topics? It's got to be a lot of us dealing with relationship topics. It could be like with siblings, cousins, friends, co-workers, neighbors. Sometimes it's one-to-one relationships, like with your life partner or with a business partner. I even see the one-to-one relationships is like your besties, the people that you have a deep relationship with. Um, I also see it as the collective, your community. Maybe you're a part of some big group, and something has been coming up with this group. Like, do I want to be a part of this group, or why did I leave from working with this group? I find it interesting. I just watched, this is a good example. No shade being thrown on anybody, but I just watched a video where a young man talked about the problematic nature of Greek letter organizations. And so maybe for him, this has been a time that he's been focused on, like, I need to admit this has been problematic. And he makes documentaries, so he made a documentary about it. So it could be something like that a big collective group that you've been a part of, and you just got questions, or you need a reset or something like that. So I'm just giving all types of relationships that Venus could be bringing up, even though she's typically one to one. We're gonna look at them all. Okay. So what is that? Because it's a double energy of relationships on that day. We'll just say around that time. And let's see here. Okay, I said money, relationships. She also has to do with self-care, how you look, again, harmony, and balance. So maybe some of us are kind of like, especially with the Libra, the harmony and balance. Where are you? What's this bringing up for you? Where are you lacking harmony? And of course, it could be inner harmony, or where are you lacking balance in your life? I've heard a lot of people talking about, I'm just not in balance right now. I'm tired. I'm burnt out. So this could be a time where you're hyper focused on those topics. Okay. Let's see here. So full moon on the 12th. I'm just going to go on ahead and talk about this new moon because I found it interesting when I was doing the readings for the ladies who are in my coaching program. Um, the 27th, new moon in Taurus. Both moons, both lunations in April are ruled by Venus. This is a very Venusian month. So all the topics that I have brought up, these are very important topics that we will be focused on in the month of April. And I just encourage you, pick one. Just pick one. You don't have to try to solve it all. You don't have to try to figure it all out. If there is something that's really standing out for you in this regard, then you know that that's what you want to hyper focus on in the month of April. Now, new moon in Taurus, for sure, this is all about manifestation. It's about money, personal finance, um, any material possessions that you own. This is a new moon because it's the new moon. You want to be setting intentions around that. And you want to think about what is your life calling you to do in order to, when it comes to money, personal finances, and material possessions. What are you being called to do? Now, Taurus is also about food. So for some of us, it's setting new moon intentions about what are you eating? Do you need to eat more healthy food? Do you need to take some time to eat food that tastes a little bit better? Is a moon, Taurus moon, I'm not doing a good job of making food enjoyable. It just feels like something I need to do. So that's a little bit on my toes. So I'm going to set a new moon intention around creating more ritual, maybe around cooking for myself. I see why as people get older, you almost feel like you don't need to cook once your kids are grown. It's like, why? But I'm too much of a conservationist, and I don't just like eating anybody's food. I don't know what kind of energy you put in my food, so I'm gonna have to do better myself. So yeah, it's all about food and self-care. It's about self-worth and self-value. So maybe this is the month where some of us will be looking at that, and it's coming up through the subconscious mind so that we can take some action around it. Taurus has to do with your values. And if you haven't, I always tell people at the new moon in Taurus, if you have not sat down and looked at your values, it's time for you to do that. Every year at the Taurus new moon, we want to look at our values. Because let me tell y'all something, queens. Where your values lie is where your actions will go. I don't care what anyone says. You're going to do what you value. That's what it means to be human. And you can shift your values. You're not just stuck with the values that you have. Like, for instance, for me, if I really value eating healthy food, I'm going to take the time to actually make it. I know for a fact something in me clicked once my kids left home. If I don't have to cook, I'm not going to cook because I got tired of cooking when I had to. It's like you raise kids for a long time. I was in it 21 years. First, they got milk from my boobs. Then I had to cook for them. I'm like, I got to cook too. I started my kids cooking at the age of 4, both of them. I was like, let's get down here. You got to learn how to cook. Mama's not going to be doing this for you all the time. Plus, ladies like a man that likes that, that can cook. So I just say that a little jokingly, but anywho, yeah, once my kids left, I was just like, I value not cooking. So now I've got to shift my values. I value cooking food where I have it planned out, and I'm not just going down in the kitchen like, what am I going to do? What am I going to eat? But then I sit around like, oh, I don't have anything that I really want to eat. It's no fun eating. It's like, no, you are living out your values, Tyra. You straight up living out your values. Be honest. You don't want to cook because you had to cook for so long. And I value my money. I just don't want to go spending a whole bunch of money, even though a lot of times when I go and eat now, I don't eat a lot, so I can make it stretch. I can make a little It's this place called, I think it's Matt Teriyaki or something like that. I don't know, but they give me enough food. I'm typically going to get 2 meals out of that. So, okay. Let's see here. Taurus values. It's also about storage. It's a little bit about energy. So, you can make some um new moon intentions about that, but it's also about storage. I'm fascinated with storage spaces in the United States. I don't know about any other place, but Taurus is reigning supreme with all these storage facilities. But you may want to set some new moon intentions about what are you storing? What are you keeping? Do you need to get rid of some stuff? Okay. And it is also history. It's think about collections. Taurus is about collections of whatever. It could be it's something like an antique collection. So maybe this has something to do about something you want to collect. What do you collect? I would love to hear from y'all. I collect books by Black people. So if I see you've written a book, I don't care if you're the most known author or not. I just buy the book. And I have a little box that I put all, well, I have multiple boxes now that I put all these books in because, for me, I value Black authors because I was not raised up seeing a whole lot of Black books by Black people. And there's more and more now. And it's just like, I want to create my own little library. That is Taurus. So Taurus is also history. So you may want to, set some new moon intentions around connecting with your collections. Do you collect something of value? Maybe something around the library, maybe you're going to start going to the library more or studying history. Taurus can be connected to history. So it's also about outdoors. And it's another reason why I chose this is the time that I want to start my Eleke initiation because it's all about connecting with the outdoors. The Ifa tradition is about being outside. It's connecting with the forces of nature, and there's no force of nature like Taurus. But more than anything, if I could tell you this, use this moon to set intentions because it is a manifesting moon. Taurus is the most inert, earthy manifestation sign that there is. It don't get no better than Taurus when it comes to manifesting. Yeah, Pisces, we might be out there, talking to the universe about what we want, but baby, it's not going to manifest without Taurus. And quite frankly, it's not going to manifest without Virgo or Capricorn. The earth signs, if you want to make something happen in terms of manifestation, you want to connect with the energy of the earth signs because they know how to make things manifest. Virgo says you need to have a to-do list. Capricorn says you need to have a plan. Not always fun and sexy, but this is what they're all about. Oh, last little bit. I can't leave this out. Taurus is all about pleasure. So set some new moon intentions around pleasure. Okay, so let's see here. So we start the month out with Mercury in Pisces, and then it's going to come back into Aries on the 16th. And again, it's something about like look at the 16th and see what comes up for you because it's going to be pushing that 0 degrees of Aries button, and you'll get a little bit of an insight. So even though it's retrograding, it could be some new, fresh idea because Mercury is ideas. Some new, fresh ideas that come to you. Now, it might be a new, fresh idea about something that you've already done. But yeah, definitely be looking for these new ideas. It can be this renewing of the mind. Pisces makes us sleepy and we just want to like watch movies. Read things that just kind of make us get away. Listen to music. But once Mercury goes into Aries, it'll be more of like, whoo, I'm ready. I'm ready to get up and I want to move. And, it's like the mind is firing. It's like, I don't want to be just kind of like out there, in the, I was going to say in Vesuvius, but I don't even know what that is. But, just out in the galaxy. I don't want my mind to just be out there. I want to be doing something, and maybe you want to write, maybe you want to talk to people. Mercury likes to move around, and it's like, let me get out and about, go to a festival, something like that. So once it gets back into there, it's just going to be amazing, and into in Aries, and then it's going to conjunct Neptune yet again. Now this might be a moment. I'm going to even say from the 16th through easily, I'm going to say the 19th, because Mercury is very, well, it's not moving super fast. So let's see what happens the 16th through the 19th. When Mercury conjuncts Neptune, now that could be a day where you can experience something miraculous. That could be a day where you feel like you're really connecting with the unseen world. There's like wisdom coming through, or you're communing with the ancestors, or intuitively you're on fire. I really love that notion. So, but I will say, beware of shenanigans, people trying to scam you. Y'all know I'm never going to stop saying that until we get out of this time. So people could be trying to scam you. Okay. Woo. So another thing is, so April is definitely this month of like backtracking. So I want y'all to understand, we got to get to May. We'll start feeling like the energy is moving forward, especially once Venus moves direct. But there still is kind of like this energy of like, I'm still working on stuff. I thought I was going to be further down the road at this point, and I'm still working on these kinds of things. So just know it's okay, because it's helping you to maybe get to an end of something so that you can just have this amazing fresh new start. Okay. So Mars going back into Leo, because Mars went direct at the end of February. And I know everybody is like, oh, Mars retrograde is over, but it has a very long shadow period. Okay. So yeah, it went direct at the end of February, but it's not going to be, I think it's right at the top of May. It won't be until the top of May that Mars is out of that retrograde period, or finish going over those retrograde degrees. Okay. So Mars goes back into Leo on the 18th. Now we're going to like that, baby. We're going to like that. Now, this is the most fire we will have seen since the fall. Okay. I'm excited. I'm excited. And the difference is, in the fall, the fire that we had was retrograde. I remember Mars being retrograde right at the top of December. Mercury was retrograde closer to the end of November. So it wasn't even like fire where we're just like, let's just go, charge ahead. Wasn't that kind of fire. This is going to feel like, okay, I'm charging ahead. Let's go. Right. And, Leo is fun. I don't know about you. Yesterday, I went and told my husband, I was like, I'm not having fun. I need to do something fun. I need fun, fun, fun. So, yes, Mars going back into Leo. Fun, 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 right? Neptune is going to immediately trine Neptune. Woo! Yes. So, this is going to feel like a very energetic time of the month, this little middle part. I'm excited. I'm excited. Leo is motivation. So maybe if you haven't felt motivated, you'll feel a little bit of motivation at that time. And Leo is creativity, and there is like, it's like this creativity where it's all about your gifts and talents. So it's like this little channel. I want you to think about the things that you're good at. You're really good at these things. So good that other people are like, how do you do that? And you're like, what? This is easy. I want you to think about those kinds of things that is for you. Um, it's like you just have an intuitive knowing. I want you to think about people who, 'cause for some people, it might be you just have this knack for knowing how to be more loving and caring. You just have this really good ear. So it doesn't have to be anything super creative, but I want you to think about a little bit of your superpower. This could be a time where you're very in tune to this superpower. And maybe you're going to be given some understanding of its purpose and meaning in your life. There may be some opportunity that comes through that will support you in that, okay? But yeah, Mars is gonna love being in Leo. It has been struggling being in Cancer because it's fall in Cancer, which means that it's the opposite of the sign that it's really good in. Mars is what is called exalted in Capricorn, which means that if it's in Cancer, it's struggling because Cancer is opposite Capricorn. And so it'll be so happy because it's a fire planet. Cancer is watery and it wants to love and it's emotional. And Mars is just like, I gotta wear these clothes. I want you to imagine having to put on clothes that where you're just like, this is not me. I don't want to wear these clothes. I don't like these clothes. It doesn't reflect my personality. That's Mars in Cancer. So when it gets into Leo, whoo, it's gonna be like party. Let's have some fun. It's gonna be like amped. Okay, fire and fire, baby. So that makes me excited. Um, so then the sun moves into Taurus on the 19th. And yeah, the sun moving into Taurus, it just brings up all things Taurus, all the things that I talked about earlier. And I just want to whisper it because right now I know on the day of this video, it is still Mars in Aries. And I mean, excuse me, the sun in Aries. And I'm not taking anything from the Aries out there, baby. But happy early sun in Taurus. It's your season, Taurus. Happy birthday, happy new moon, all that kind of good stuff. And let's see here. Okay. So something huge happening is Saturn conjuncting Rahu. And that is going to happen on the 21st. So Rahu, that's how this particular author creates her. That's what she calls the North Node. Rahu and the North Node are the same thing. Pretty much, let's see here. Today is April 2nd. Baby Saturn is already conjunct Rahu. Okay. So, Saturn is a boss planet. All right. But it's very karmic and it's all about cycles. It's about you only get what you put in. Like you're not going to get anything extra. It doesn't like giving a whole lot. So in a way it 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 can be something that blocks you because Saturn is like we're going to move slowly, we're going to move methodically. Everything must be decent and in order. And if it's not, then Saturn is just not having this. So here we have yet another conjunction with the North Node inside of Pisces. And as I see it, it is time to transform that inner world. It is time to continue to transform that inner landscape. I even think that it's time to, settle up some karma. And perhaps in doing that, it will help to remove some of the blocks that you have. Or the other thing is kind of like, Saturn is like, do it no matter what, because Saturn is about success. Saturn wants to complete a thing. And so maybe with conjuncting with the North Node, the very thing that you need to do, settling up karma, maybe, or dealing with something in your subconscious mind that's blocking you. This is the very transit that you need to help move past all of that. But it's never easy with Saturn. So it's kind of like, what hard thing do you actually need to do? Saturn wants you to have a plan. It's like, have you been following your plan? Why are you not following your plan? Do you want this new thing? You got to follow the plan. I think Saturn might be saying, hey, we're going to bring a new plan. So I want you to open yourself up to a new plan that is unfolding for you around that time. Well, now through, I'm just going to say all of April. I want you to open yourself up to this new way that Saturn has you working, but it is from the inside out because Pisces is the inner world. Saturn is death. And so I want you to just be thinking about what do you need to die to? Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It's death and liberation. But whatever this thing is, whatever it is that you need to do, it's like you're gonna have to make a choice, and it's gonna turn your life around. You're gonna be able to do things that you didn't ever believe that you were able to do. But I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not gonna be easy. I see Pisces as sacrifice, and I was watching Cory Booker, for better or for worse. I'm not dogging nobody who's trying to help us here in the United States right now. And all I could think about, he wanted to get up and bring the message of this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to cut Medicaid, which is Pisces. It's like, how do you help support people who are down and out? Pisces wants to help people who are down and out. So that's interesting because I hadn't even thought about that until just now. And he was hoping to beat the longest speech ever made in the Senate, which was 24 minutes, 24 hours, 18 minutes. And when I found out he went to 25, I don't know if it was like 25 on the dot, I said to myself, okay, he made a sacrifice because he could have stopped at 24 hours, 19 minutes, but he really and truly did go as far as he could. He talked about how he fasted before and he was, living off ketones. He didn't even have to stop and go to the bathroom because he was sweating so much, and he actually got dehydrated and just, I guess, talking and sweating. He had on that suit. He didn't have to go to the bathroom. It was just all sweating out of him. I said, that's a sacrifice. And I love that he admitted he is a little Johnny come lately. That's the kind of thing I want y'all to be thinking about. What are you willing to sacrifice? What sacrifice are you willing to make in order to get this rebirth? That kind of sends chills through me because I'm like, what is it? What do I have to do? Okay. So yeah, that's huge. And I know it's exact on the 21st. So maybe on the 21st of April, a lot will be on and popping at that point in time, personally and in the collective. So don't be surprised. I think, you know, to me, March seemed like a lot. And for me, April felt a little more hopeful just because there's just been so many big shifts, and then the retrogrades are ending, but this is pretty big. This is huge. This has far-reaching implications. Saturn meeting with Rahu. There's a lot that I'm telling y'all need to keep your eyes and ears open. Don't be surprised is really what I want to say. Don't be surprised if you see something happen that is of epic proportion. So, Saturn is invisible when it conjuncts the North Node, but then it becomes visible on the 25th. I am so happy about that. I do not know what to do. We need some Saturnian energy. At least that's what I'm thinking. I hope it works in our favor because sometimes Saturnian energy is the government, but it's not in a government sign right now. Saturn is in Pisces, heading its way to. So I'm hoping the governments that aren't doing right, I'm hoping that makes them, they have to reap some stuff. Anywho, let's see here. I think that's all that I have there. So if you're watching this video in the snippet version, thank you so much for being here. And now I'm going to get back to my live stream.